Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. My name is Jai Vargas, and I'm founder of the Latinista. I'm so excited that you can be here with us today for the Overcoming the Imposter Syndrome webinar. We're going to be featuring a career advisor, and I can't wait to introduce you to her. Before we begin, I'd love to show you and tell you a little bit about our speaker. As you can see her on the screen now. Angelica Ogando is a leadership coach and corporate trainer focused on helping women create strategic roadmaps to step into senior and executive level positions, as well as those transitioning into entrepreneurship, like many of you are, just like me. She is also the founder and CEO of the Enriched Mind LLC, a company whose mission to build bridges where people are in life and their dreams. Ms. Ogando has delivered leadership trainings for companies in finance, technology, and the fashion industry. Angelica is a fearless champion of educating companies on diversity and inclusion, geared towards people with disabilities, as well as Latinas and women of color. Angie, as I like to call her, is a role model for HISPA, Hispanics Inspiring Students Performing and Achievement. She's a mentor there. If you all don't know Yvonne Diaz-Claix, you should connect with her on LinkedIn. Their mission is to mobilize Hispanic professionals to serve as active role models, as Angie has done for many people in the past. And so first, before we begin, I want to just hope that you're all doing well and healthy. During these difficult times, I want you to know that the Latinista is here for you and whatever that you may need from a distance, virtually. If this is your first time attending a Latinista workshop or webinar, I want to tell you just a little bit about us. We're a national network of Latinas and women of color, and we're invested in career and leadership development. We focus on in-person workshops as well as webinars, just like this one. And for the most part, we focus on professional development. And so topics like this one, the Imposter Syndrome, professional development that gets you from point A to point B, investing in your personal and professional brand, and also understanding how to articulate everything that you do without seeming like you're all over the place on a resume. Without further ado, I want to introduce and give the floor virtually to Miss Angie Ogando. She's going to be speaking with you and interacting with you. If you have any comments, check out the chat right on your right-hand side. And if you have a question, there's a button right down below where you can type in a question. And in about 40 to 45 minutes, I'm going to pull up those questions. And I can even invite you onto the screen so that you can either ask her or we can just see your beautiful face while she's answering. So, Angie, thank you so much for being here with our audience, and we're looking forward to this chat.
Thank you so much, Jai. I really appreciate the opportunity that you gave me to just be a part of the chat and to be able to host this webinar. And so we're gonna just jump right into the webinar. We're just gonna jump into this. Hi, everyone. My name is Angelica Ogando, and I am the CEO and founder of the Enriched Mind LLC. Sometimes people will ask you, do you feel well? How are you doing? And you'll have a moment where you'll stop and you'll start thinking, should I tell them that I feel like a fraud today? Oof, the other day I was talking to my friend and she's doing absolutely amazing, but my life is nowhere near where hers is at. I mean, I have so much going on. This pandemic started, this crisis. Oh my God, I just realized I married somebody I don't even know. Who is that person? Who am I? Oh my God, you mean to tell me I have to sit here and help my kid out with their homework online? I'm helping them. Oh my God, I just realized something. I am not smarter than a fifth grader. That's right. You just realized you are not smarter than a fifth grader. At least that's what you think, because you haven't done homework in a while. See, your kids are going to school every day. They have teachers who are teaching them. And you don't have to worry about it because most of their homework is already done by the time they get home. And then you're at work most of the day. So you're not really interacting with your spouse. So this pandemic has literally done something important. What it's done is that it's put you in a place where you have to realize and readjust some things. See, you just realized, man, I don't know who I am. I don't know who this person is. As a matter of fact, I just realized something. I don't know if I still have a job, or if you have a job, I don't even know if I'm good enough, because I was in the middle of a 360 of a review, and my boss didn't even have a minute to tell me whether I was doing a good job or not. Oh my God, you know what? I just realized something. I was laid off. I must not have been as good as Sally. Oh my goodness. It's just that Sally and I are just not good enough. That's the problem. Sally is better than me. I don't have good skills. And that's what the 360 said. So you start having all these doubts about who you are, whether you're good enough or not. See, this is what is called the imposter syndrome. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to what it is. Where does it come from? Who created this? Why am I suffering from the imposter syndrome? What does that even mean? In 1978, two very intelligent women, see, it had to be women to discover this. It had to be women to even give it a name, the imposter syndrome. I'm sorry for the gentlemen who are part of the live today of the webinar, but I just have to tell you something. I have to tell you something. Women right now are doing it better. They're just doing it better. You can look at how some of these countries have responded to the pandemic. And I know that, I don't know if it was CNN or the New York Times. I'm just going to put this out there. They did a study, and what they discovered was that the women who were running Taiwan, it was several countries. I don't remember all of them from the top of my head. They were the ones that were getting it right. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I know some of you in the chat are gonna say that it's not true, but it's okay because I'm the one hosting the webinar. And women, we're doing it. We're doing it. So these two psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, coined the term the imposter syndrome. And they did a whole research paper in 1978. And what they discovered was that women were just as susceptible to suffering from the imposter syndrome as men were. Can you imagine? We were suffering from the same thoughts, negative beliefs that men were suffering from. See, the imposter syndrome says that you just don't deserve success, that you're a fraud, that you're waiting for someone to take off the mask, the one that you've put on, the one that when people ask you, how are you doing? You're going to respond, I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm amazing. But in your head, you're thinking, I'm an idiot, I'm fake, I'm a fraud. People are going to notice. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Just this morning, I was falling a little bit, just a little bit in the cycle. Because you know what? Today they said that we are in the hair color phase of the crisis. Can you imagine? People are going crazy. They were going crazy over toilet paper a couple weeks ago. Now they're going crazy over hair color. And I'm going to tell you, I fell into that because here I am putting on my makeup, getting ready because I had conference calls all day and I knew I wasn't going to be able to put any back on. And I start thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to notice my grays in my hair. Ooh, they're going to notice that maybe I'm not as professional as they thought I was going to be. Oh, they're going to see that from the top down, I'm wearing some sweats because this is our new norm, right? We're conducting meetings face to face with people online, so you don't get to see the rest of what I look like. So a little bit of that imposter syndrome started to sink in, and I had to tell myself, no, Angie, you remember that method you have, which I'm going to tell you, remember that method about overcoming those thoughts? No, girl, you need to get rid of that. That's not you. That's about. See, the imposter syndrome will have you thinking that you're just not qualified, that maybe you were laid off during this time because your coworker, you know, the one that you've been having some issue with, that coworker is better than you. Yeah, that's what you're thinking. Or he's better than you. That's what you were thinking. This crisis has done something because you have realized, I don't know where I'd stand. I don't know what's my next. But I want to do a reality check. I want you guys in the chat to let me know that you're still with me. See, we think we are the only ones, because we're so special and we're so amazing and we're the only ones that go through things. We think that we are the only ones that have suffered from the imposter syndrome, from that, I don't deserve success, I'm just not good enough, oh my goodness, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, everybody's doing better than me. Is that you? I want you guys to put that in the chat. Let me know, because I don't know if there are perfect people in this chat, but I know that that's me. I know I've been suffering from that lately. I know that that's some stuff that I've been going through. Listen, if you're in agreement and you've been suffering through some stuff, just let us know. Let us know that you've been going through this, right? So reality check, because we're not alone, right? I know that you guys know some of these people. Some of you know some of these people on here, and there's some pretty big, famous celebrities, and they've suffered with the imposter syndrome. Can you believe? So we're gonna go at the top. We're gonna go from left to right. We're gonna go with the first row. If none of you know this woman is a phenomenal woman. Her name is Maya Angelou. See, I didn't put the names in there because you guys should know who these people are. Maya Angelou, Nobel laureate, wrote over 11 books. She's an activist and author. And can you imagine? They interviewed her right before she passed. There was an interview where they asked her, how did she feel about all these accolades that she had? And can you believe that she said that she still felt like she was running a game? Can you imagine? 11 books. She's known throughout the world. Her books have been translated in I don't know how many languages, and she felt like she was running a game, that people were going to take the mask off, that people were going to know that she was a fraud. Can you imagine Maya Angelou thinking that she's a fraud? No, but wait a second. No, nobody understands me. Nobody knows what I'm going through. Oh my goodness. Next person, Sonia Sotomayor, Chief Justice, the first Latina to be named Chief Justice of the United States. And you know what she thought? They interviewed her as well. In 2016, she was interviewed. And she said this, check this out. She said that it didn't matter that she went to Princeton. It didn't matter that she was the first Latina. Imagine being the first ever of anything. The first Latina to be named Chief Justice, and she still struggled. She still struggled with self-doubt, that she didn't belong. How many of you have felt like you didn't belong? How many of you? I want you guys to be in the chat letting me know that you just did not belong. That's right. I see you guys. I see you in the chat. You didn't belong. See, you're the only Latino in the room. You don't belong. As a matter of fact, you go and you hide in the corner because nobody looks like you. That's the imposter syndrome. Michelle Obama. She was the FLOTUS of the US. If you guys don't know what FLOTUS is, the First Lady of the United States of America. She wrote a book called Becoming. You guys should buy it. And in her book, she said that she felt like she didn't deserve her success. Can you imagine? Michelle Obama. She felt like she didn't deserve her success. She didn't deserve to be First Lady of the USA. She said, although she sat on boards, profit, not for profit, she was the First Lady. She had a successful career in the past. She's traveled all around the world with her organization, helping people. She felt like she didn't deserve her success, but you still think that you're not good enough. You're still battling with your own imposter syndrome. Can you imagine? Michelle Obama. Wait a second. Lupita Nyong'o, Wakanda forever, y'all. Wakanda forever. Lupita Nyong'o. You guys should know her, right? You guys should know her. Lupita Nyong'o. This woman won an Oscar. She has been in box office hits. She's an amazing, powerful actress. Beautiful African queen. And you know, she was interviewed in 2016, and she said, check this out. She said that although she had won an Oscar, she felt like she still had not done enough and she wasn't good enough. She didn't know what her next was. She was confused. Can you imagine? She was confused because she didn't realize, and she said this, that she wasn't doing it for the accolades. She was doing it because she had a story to tell. Check this out. We have to include the men. We got to be fair. We got to be fair, right? We got to be fair. It was Black Panther. You're absolutely correct. We got to be fair here. Now, I love this man. He has played in amazing movies. Tom Hanks. You know, he just did Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, welcome to the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I mean, Tom Hanks was Forrest Gump. I don't know if you guys watch Forrest Gump, but Forrest Gump was my movie. I mean, I cried the ugly tears. He captivated every single part of my heart. Tom Hanks said, and I quote, he said, in 2016, he was interviewed. He was promoting a movie in Saudi Arabia, and he said that he still struggled with self-doubt. He still struggled. He felt that he didn't measure up to all of the other actors out there. Jennifer Lopez, my girl, Jenny from the block, Jenny from the block. I'm still Jenny from the block. Can you imagine? Jennifer Lopez. Now, this is my girl. Listen, I'm Latina. I have to throw her in there. I have to throw two Latinas in here. Jennifer Lopez has felt like her voice just isn't good. It doesn't measure up because she's a dancer. Everybody knew her as a dancer first, right? But her voice, she says she still struggles with comparing herself to other people with her voice. Can you imagine? J-Lo, the queen, comparing herself to others and saying, oh, my voice is just not there. It's just, I'm just not that good. Jennifer Lopez, the woman who just shut down, right? The halftime show with Shakira for the NFL. That's my girl. Listen, Jenny from the block. Oh, and this is my last one. This is my last guy. I love this guy. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. If you guys don't know this movie, if you don't know this man, I mean, this is my celebrity crush. This guy is the guy that I'm like, oh, he's so amazing. This guy says that he puts on a suit every time there's a new movie premiere that he has to show up to. There's some nerves that start to happen because he puts on a suit. Can you imagine? He puts on a suit and he says he still feels like that little kid that has to fake it till he makes it. Now, that's the wrong thinking because you shouldn't be faking anything. I don't like that word. I don't like when people use it because what you're doing is that neurologically, you're telling yourself that it's okay to be a fraud, and it's not okay to be a fraud. So we're going to have a moment here, y'all, where I'm going to get real with y'all. And I'm going to talk about this. This is not my word. This is not it. I don't own this. I don't own the rights to it. This is Pastor Mike Todd from Transformation Church. He said something so profound on Sunday. Sunday, I watched the online service for Transformation Church, and he called it being in the middle, but he said something really important that resonated with me, and I needed to include it in this webinar today. And he had a saying called hot, where he was talking about that you can't talk to people and tell a story, right? If you aren't humble enough, open enough, and transparent enough with your own story so that people can connect with you. So it's not mine, guys. I don't own the rights to this. This is Pastor Mike talk. He says you have to be humble, open, and transparent with your own story, right? And the things that are happening with you. Humble, open, and transparent with your own story, with what's happening to you, so that you can inspire and connect with other people. So here it is. Here's my hot moment. I'm giving you guys my hot moment. In a few seconds, I'm going to give you my hot moment. So this woman right here, this woman was wearing a mask. This woman was me. That was the old Angie from a few years ago. Look at her. Oh, by all accounts, she's cute, right, guys? She's hot. Yes, she's cute. She looks nice, presentable. She looks professional. Ooh, her skin looks amazing. Her hair is straight. She looks powerful. At least I think she does, right? But this woman, that old me, this is my hot moment, guys. That old me was an imposter. I was the poster woman for the imposter syndrome. See, that me that you see, that old me, had a moment in time. Just like this crisis that's going on. I had a crisis in 2016. I suffered from a crisis. Listen, this is my openness right now. This is my transparency. I was in the middle of a divorce. And I don't know if any of you have been through divorce, a breakup, a heartache, but that feels like a divorce. Whether you go through an actual divorce or a breakup, it's the end. It feels like death. And in that death, you feel like you failed. You feel like you weren't good enough. You start comparing yourself to other people. You start to question, why did this not work out? I was in the middle of a death, personally. I was getting divorced. And then in that same week that I found out that my marriage was over, I find out that I had just lost $250,000 on a tech company I had started. Listen, I went from death personally to death financially in a business. Listen, I'm being open and honest with you guys right now. This is my hot moment. I'm being transparent. I'm being honest. I'm telling you, I lost $250,000 in an investment. And then the last piece was my dad and my niece were going through cancer. And I literally broke down. I felt like a failure in every sense of the word. I was a fraud. Here I am, Miss Perfect, because you see her on screen. She's perfect. And in that perfectness, there was an imperfect moment, a crisis where I lost money and I started to think, I'm just not good in business. I'm not good at making business decisions. I had failed in a marriage. I felt like I had failed because the imposter syndrome is just a feeling. You are not an imposter. It's a feeling like you are a fraud, like you have no rights to be successful in any area. I was feeling like a fraud, like a failure, because I didn't want anyone to know that I was going through these things. And let me tell you, internally, personally, behind closed doors, I was breaking down. I No one knew that I was crying and I was going through these emotions where I literally wanted to give up because I felt like I just wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't beautiful, like I didn't deserve love. Like I felt I didn't deserve a business because I wasn't smart enough. My skill sets weren't there. Mind you, I had an MBA. I did the certification for the CFP, Certified Financial Planner. I had multiple certifications, but I felt like I had nothing. See, in that moment of crisis, I made a decision. I made a decision to walk away from marriage. I made a decision to walk away from this loss of this business. I made a decision to put all of my interests to the side so that I can help my family as we were going through this other personal crisis, which had to do with a sickness and illness. And I came to a point where I said, man, what am I going to do? And I remember the first thing I thought when I asked myself, what am I going to do? I said, okay, I need to ask other people. And I remember people telling me, you're leaving? What do you mean that you're leaving? What do you mean that you're starting all over again in every single area of your life? What are you talking about? And I said, yeah, I remember the day that I left my home, right? I walked out of that place thinking, tomorrow I'm going to be a new person and rebrand myself. And this new version of myself, I was going to wear my hair curly because I said I didn't want to be that old person before. And I remember I told a couple people and they told me, are you crazy? Why would you change your image? Why are you going to leave your hair curly? Why do you want to rebrand yourself? Why do you want to not be associated with everything that represents you? And I remember being told curly hair is ugly. You know what, Angie? It seems like you were living a fake life. You aren't as put together as we thought you were. And then I was told, you know what? You have a heavy accent. People are not going to be able to understand you. Because I remember telling people, you know, I'm in the middle of this crisis, but I'm going to get out. And I'm going to be talking about my story. I'm going to be talking about my story on a stage. And people were telling me, girl, you got a heavy accent. Nobody can understand you. And then I remember people telling me, you're not going to be able to get business with your curly hair. You have nappy hair, girl. You got nappy hair. You're not going to be able to do business. Nobody is going to do business with somebody who looks like you. And then check this out. People told me, you know what, Angie? You're a Jesus lover, girl. You're too spiritual. And you need to be less Christian in business and personal life. And so what they started to do was they started to put all these labels on me. You see them on the screen. They started to put these labels on me. And then what I did, right? I already had all these limiting beliefs that were already created from the situations I was going through. I started to take on the labels that people put on me, and I started to add it to my mind. I became the receptacle. I became the trash can. And my mind was so open to receiving trash that I accepted it, internalized it, embraced it, and I believed all this stuff. I believed in the middle of my crisis, when I didn't know what I was going to do, when I didn't know if I was good enough to do business, I had to figure out how am I going to make some money, because in my past, I was attached to a business that had to do with my ex. And once I left, I had to figure out how am I going to make money? And I didn't know. Listen, I had all these degrees and I thought, I literally thought that I didn't have anything. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I had enough skills. I didn't think that anybody would hire me. Can you imagine? I applied to 100 jobs. 100. I don't know about you guys. I applied to 100 and I got 100 freaking no's. 100 no's. Do you know what 100 no's does to you mentally? Do you know what it does? I mean, can somebody in the chat let me know? Do you know what 100 no's does to you? 100 no's does the following to you. You already feel like a fraud. You feel like a fake. You're constantly comparing yourself with other people. You have an accent because you're Latina, and people think because you don't speak beautiful English that no one is going to listen to you and no one is going to be able to connect with you, that you don't think you have a purpose. You feel like you're ugly because you decide that you're going to wear your hair curly, right? Whether people call it nappy or not, it's my hair, the one Jesus, God, whoever it is that you believe in gave me. And I took all of that in and I said, nobody's going to hire me because I'm fake, because I'm a fraud, because I'm not smart, because I'm not good enough, because I'm just not where everybody else is. 100 no's. What it did was that it broke me down. It reminded me of all these labels and the other things that I had in my mind. It reminded me that I was still a failure and that I was worthless. And so I remember the next day when I walked out of my home and I made a decision to walk away from all the things that were putting me down. I remember taking in a big gulp of air. You know, when you take in a big gulp of air after you just received some bad news. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but you know when you're taking in that heavy breath and you're like, and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know that something is gonna happen. And I remember when I took in that gulp of air, I realized something important. I realized I had put myself in such a place that I needed help, because the imposter syndrome will have you believing that nobody understands you, that nobody has been through what you have been through, that nobody is going to be able to help you because you don't want anyone to know. See, you don't want anyone to know that you're not perfect, that you're struggling with some things. So I remember making a decision, because there's a decision that happens. You decide that you're going to change and you're going to do something because you know what? You want to do better. And when I took in that big gulp of air, I said, I'm going to get myself some therapy and I'm going to get myself some coaching. And what therapy and coaching did for me was that it made me realize something. And I literally created this method as a result of the therapy and the coaching that I received. Guys, I'm going to tell you something important. Please don't believe the lie that therapy and coaching doesn't work. That's a lie. Please don't believe that lie. Therapy, coaching, it works. It helps. You get out of the stuff that you're in because y'all got some stuff going on. You know you know who you are. I'm talking to you. You got some stuff going on. You need some therapy. You need some coaching. Let me tell you, you need some therapy. You need some coaching. So I created this method that I use in my personal coaching called the AIR method. And it's a 3-step process. The process is accepting. That's the first step. You have to accept. You have to accept some things, right? Some things that you've been doing to fan the flame, fan the feeling of feeling like a fraud, because you've been doing some stuff. Then you got to identify. See, what happens is we don't know who we are, and we need to identify who we are. When people put labels on us and we take it and we put it on ourselves, what we're saying is that we are not clear on who we are, and we allow people to make us trash cans for their projections. And that's not what you're going to do today, because I'm teaching you the method that I use to overcome the imposter syndrome. You don't want to stay in that perpetual cycle. You don't want to be there. Trust me, you don't want to be there. So you need to identify, who are you? And the last is recognize. You need to recognize you've had some impact. And impact, I mean, you need to educate yourself and do an accountability on all the amazing things you've done and the amazing people that you've impacted. See, in acceptance, when you accept, what you do is that you ask for help because you know you're in a crisis. We're in a crisis. Some of you are doubting your skill sets right now. You are unemployed. You don't know what's your next. But you know what? You need to ask for help. There's help. The next thing you need to do is you need to be self-aware. There's a self-awareness that happens. You need to ask for help. There's a self-awareness where you realize, you get to a place, you start to put the puzzle pieces together. Hey, what have I been doing to feed and fan the flame that I'm a fraud? Because you know what? Some of you don't want to get real with yourself. You don't want to get real with yourself. You don't want to accept the fact, this is where the responsibility comes in, that you purposely made decisions to put yourself in the place that you are in. Come on, somebody. Listen, somebody better say something in this chat. You doing some things. Let me tell you, if you stuck in a job that you no longer are producing in and that you hate, but you still go there because you need a paycheck, it's your fault that you're in that job. Listen, I'm going to keep it real with you. We're having a hot moment. I'm letting you know right now. You guys are stuck in places that you don't want to be in because you choose to be there, because you think that you need that, because you're so stuck in it. You're hell bent on holding on to it. You know why? Because you don't know who you are. You're letting other people determine and define who you are. That's your problem. In identifying, who are you? Are you all those labels people have put on you? Do you know what your purpose is? See, it took me a while to understand what my purpose was. It took me a while. It took me a while because I thought my purpose was to help everybody. That wasn't my purpose, y'all. So I'm going to tell you, going through my crisis moment, finding an amazing business partner, having the opportunity to inspire other women, help me to realize that my purpose is to help women embrace their power and become warrior queens. Took me a while. Took me 5 years to get to that place. Listen, in my coaching, we get deep. We dig. We figure out. We connect the dots. I help you identify who you are, because some of you don't know you don't know who you are. As a matter of fact, you're home with a spouse. You're stuck because of the pandemic, and you're looking at your spouse and you're like, I don't know who you are and you don't know who I am. Listen, I can help you with that. Recognize. Remember I told you guys that you need to recognize we all have impact. See, our problem with the imposter syndrome is that we believe that we don't have an impact. We think that what we have done hasn't helped a single person, and that's a lie. You know why that's a lie? Because you have impact. You've helped some people. You just don't know who you've helped. Whether it's your family, whether it's your children, whether it's another colleague, whether you have a professional organization and you're helping thousands of people, or you are the CEO of a huge corporation, you've helped some folks. And you need to recognize the imposter syndrome has you believing that you're not good enough, that you suck, that you're an idiot, that you're just not smart enough, you're not beautiful enough, but that's a lie. See, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. That's a lie. The reason you feel that is because you don't accept the things you've been doing to fan the feeling of being a fraud. You don't know who you are because you are accepting and allowing people to make you the living trash can for all of their projections. And you have all these limiting beliefs because these situations cause these feelings of not being successful to hold you down. And you're not recognizing you've done some stuff because you're too focused on the problem, on the crisis. And I'm here to tell you, you're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the wrong thing. See, you're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the wrong thing. This is my hot moment with you guys. It took me 5 years, because 2016 was the year. It took me 5 years to realize that I was living, breathing, sleeping, everything with the imposter syndrome. And I had to go through my own healing process to create a method, a quick method, because this is a quick method. Listen, I teach you this in my personal one-on-one coaching programs. I teach you how to get out of that perpetual cycle. When I recognized the power of my impact, something amazing happened. See, I realized that I was a warrior queen. All those labels, you remember that old Angie in the back that you saw that had the labels? I started to peel off the not good enough, that I was ugly, that I had nappy hair, that I wasn't smart enough, that I was worthless. I started to peel off those layers because the Angelica that you see today, this Angie that sits here, she's a warrior queen. See, I know that my purpose is to help women. I motivate, I inspire, I coach, I have programs that are helping them become successful entrepreneurs. The woman that you see there is the woman that walked into a conference 3 months ago. And I walked in with my full hair curly, my face beaten to the gods, a phenomenal suit on. And I remember speaking and getting a standing ovation. And there was a sea of beautiful women from all walks of life that came up to me at the end, and they stood in a long line and they said, wow, I can't believe you just walked in here looking like that. I can't believe you just said that it is okay to be you and look the way that you do. And I remember being in that conference and saying something. I said, you don't think I suffer from the imposter syndrome still today? I mean, just last week, I wanted to quit, y'all. I wanted to quit. And I'm being honest with you. This is my hot moment. I wanted to quit because I started to fall into this trap. Are we doing enough? Am I good enough? Are the programs that we're offering good enough? And I had to get myself out of that. I implemented the AIR method. I implemented my AIR method right away. I said, no, stop it right there, Angie. You are good enough. I want to tell you guys something. The minute you decide to make a change in your life, you will do something so amazing. What you do is, and I'm quoting my business partner, Minue Yoshida, she's the CEO of Yoshida Consulting, who always says, when you make a change in your personal life, professional life, or whatever life it is, she says what you do is that you change the dial. Remember the old radios where you change the dial and you change the frequency because you're trying to get, the right station and you're trying to hear it properly? What you do is that you change your mindset to such a degree that you start to attract all of the things you've ever wanted. The imposter syndrome will have you believing that you will never be successful in business. It'll have you believing that you'll never find the right husband. Listen, I'm still believing, trusting, and I'm still manifesting that man is coming to my life, guys. Listen, I need y'all to hold that in your thoughts because I'm manifesting that. It'll have you believing that you're not a good parent. It'll have you believing all these lies. But you know what? That's a lie. It's not true. So what do I do? How can you work with me? How can you work with me? I have a program with my business partner, Minue Yoshida, coming up. It's called Roadmap to Success. It's an online program, 12 sessions online. You remember the old me, the one that didn't know what was her next, if she was good enough, if she could have a business? I received 100 no's when I applied to a job. I made a decision to start a business called The Enriched Mind, where I do one-to-one coaching with people. Literally one-to-one coaching. And what we do is that we help them. We help people transform. And what we do is that we have programs. Minue and I created a program for business-minded people, for those who want to become entrepreneurs and want to go to the next step. Remember when I told you I changed the dial? See, I attracted a business partner who was in the same frequency as me, had gone through the same things that I did. We aligned and we made a decision that we had been through some stuff, right? We had been through some stuff and we decided to take a leap of faith and start our own business. So what we decided was we were going to teach people how to be successful. We were going to teach them and create programs that were going to bring them to a place where they can say, man, I am good enough. I can do this. And so we have a program coming up called Roadmap to Success that helps people, entrepreneurs, become successful. We have a program also called The Confident Public Speaker, where if you've thought about telling your story and you're just not a good storyteller and you don't know what's your next, listen, we have a program. It starts in June the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th. There are 3 different dates to choose from that you can learn how to become a confident public speaker. I do one-on-one coaching with people. I do speaking engagements. I do keynotes. If you're interested in any of the programs that I have and you want to have a longer conversation with me, listen, guys, just follow me, connect with me, send me an email. All of my contact information is on my website. I would love to hear from all of you. And with that, I want to say thank you to Jai Vargas, founder of the Latinista, for allowing me to host this webinar today. And this is our session for question and answers. So.
Wow, just wow. First of all, Angie, thank you so much for that. And you know what, community, I don't think that I properly prepared you for what you are about to receive this evening. So we cannot thank you enough for being, first of all, so honest, so transparent, and so giving with all of your gems. We appreciate you and everything that you've taught us and everything that you've learned and shared with us. And now I want to pull up some of the questions that we have below.
Okay.
The first one is, what's the first step someone should take if they don't know what their passion is?
Ooh, that is such a good question. So you don't know what your passion is. Listen, this is the first step. You need to do an accountability of all the things. Literally, take a notebook, write down all of the things that you love to do. Not that you're passionate about, but that you love to do. Things that you just do, whether you're volunteering, whether it's makeup, whatever it is that you love to do, write down a list. The next thing you're going to do is that you're literally going to go on my website and you're going to send me an email, because this is what me and my business partner do. We literally walk you through finding what your purpose and passion is. We connect your passion to your purpose. We connect the dots. So what you're going to do is that you're going to go and you're going to send me an email and I'll give you the rest there.
I love that. I love that. That's perfect. And you know what? I've seen you in action before, and I've seen you do this Imposter Syndrome workshop, and you did not disappoint today. I don't think that we were properly prepared to hear all of this, this energy. And I've already gotten a couple of personal messages just thanking, you and the community for making this possible. The next question, of course, the next question that we have is, what is your best advice to succeed at a job interview? You actually do a lot of career coaching and resume writing.
I do a ton of career coaching and resume writing. If you guys don't know, I am the resident career coach for the Latinistas. So for the Latinistas that are here from Chicago, LA, Miami, nice to meet y'all. So yes, so the best advice for your career, if you're trying to switch and change careers, this is the first thing I'm going to tell you, or if you're trying to get into a different position, is that you need to take another accountability. This is accountability, right? You need to do an accountability sheet of where you are with respect to your skill sets, with respect to the position that you're in. You need to start having conversations with your managers, and you need to have conversations with the people who are in the positions that you want to be in. Because the questions that you need to start asking is, what do I need? With respect to skill sets, what am I missing? If some of you don't know what a 360 is, a lot of corporations do this, which is an evaluation. They evaluate you every year. And what they tell you, what this evaluation does, is that it shows you the areas in which you are lacking. This is what I do on a personal level. Like, we go through your evaluation and we dig deep. We figure out, okay, these are the areas that you're lacking in. These are the questions that you need to follow up with your employer, with your manager or the VP, as to what can you do specifically. We create a whole strategic plan around your career. We create a whole strategy plan. You want to move into that position? Let's create a strategy plan. Let's do an accountability. Let's have open conversations with our managers, with the people who are on this position, so that we know exactly what it is we need to do and where we are. Because you need to know where you are. There's some benchmarking. You need to know where you are with respect to everybody else.
I love that. It's all about self-introspection, being open and honest with yourself, and knowing where you are in life, right?
Yeah, totally. Very important. Also, a lot of you need to update your resumes. Some of you are not updating your resumes, and you need to do the same accountability with your resume and LinkedIn. By the way, Jai is known as the LinkedIn Ninja. You guys need to connect with her, because what she does is that she'll look at your resume, she'll look at all the things that you've done, and she will make sure your LinkedIn is in alignment, that you're telling your story. I tell stories in resume. I always tell people the resumes I create are not cookie cutter. They're telling your story, because I sit down with you and we go through almost a 2-hour process of me figuring out what's your story. And we tell your story on paper. It's about telling your story.
I love that. That is beautiful. Our next question is, what if your passion isn't one that will generate a large income? What other options are there to increase income while still following your passion?
I love this question. I get this all the time. So let's deconstruct that question. What if your passion doesn't make you money? You need to take that thought out of your head. You can make money out of any passion. You just have to figure it out. What is the need that people have with respect to your passion? How can you fulfill the need? There are multiple needs out there, multiple needs. We all have a set of skill sets, something specific to us that we do, and we do absolutely well. And there is a way to market that specific skill set, passion that you have. You just have to figure out what's the need, what is the need that your skill set is going to fulfill. It's just connecting the dots. Like I said before, if you're having problems with that, you're struggling, please send me an email. You can contact me via my website. We can have a whole conversation about this. This is exactly what I do with my business partner, Minwei.
Fantastic. And the last question that we have says, hi, Angie, as a certified master trainer in hypnosis, how has that helped you in your journey?
I love that question. So hypnosis is such a wonderful tool. People always ask me whether hypnosis is what you see on TV. If it's the quacking like a chicken and doing all this stuff, I always love to tell people, hypnosis is a light state of trance. Literally, when you're watching TV and there's a good movie and you're just focused on it, that's a form of trance. Hypnosis is just meditation. I use hypnosis all the time with clients, with myself. Whenever I want to change a behavior, when I want to change a limiting belief, and there is something positive that I want to replace it with, I use hypnosis to meditate and manifest. That's what I use hypnosis with. And I use that with my clients. We do a lot of hypnosis to replace all those negative beliefs with the positive beliefs that they want, the positive actions that they want to take towards success.
That's fantastic. I appreciate that. And, you know, something that resonates in my mind when you talk about that is finding your passion and your purpose and turning it into profit, something that you've been able to do so eloquently.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for everyone who participated.
Absolutely. So check out the chat. We've got an incredible amount of engagement for you.
I know. This is so amazing. Thank you to everyone who wrote messages. I see you guys. I see you. You're welcome, Jessica. I'm so glad that my experience, you were able to find it powerful, and I hope that it resonated with you. But just remember, guys, one thing, you need to get honest with yourself. Whenever you're going through a period of crisis, what it does is that it will expose the areas in your life that you need to put attention to. It'll expose the areas in your life that you need to pause for the cause, take a moment and say, hey, I need to do something. One last thing, ask for help. Ask for help. There is nothing wrong with therapy and there is nothing wrong with coaching. Listen, you will experience massive breakthroughs the minute you open your mouth and you say, you know what, I don't have everything together. I need some help. And get yourself that. And you'll see a change in your situation. I promise you, you'll see it.
That's fantastic. And last but not least, if they do want your help and they want to connect with you, where can they find you? Of course, we're going to add you on LinkedIn under Angelica Ogando.
Sure. Yeah. So you guys can find me at my website. You can send me an email. My contact is in there. It's www.angelicaogando.com. My email is angelica@angelicaogando.com. Also, you can find me on social media. I have the same handle for Facebook, for Instagram, and for Twitter, which is at Coach Angelica Ogando. And on LinkedIn, I'm just Angelica Ogando. So you guys can find me there. Like I said, I do one-on-one coaching with people. They're all custom tailored. We have a program for entrepreneurs. If you guys are interested, you want to start your own business, for the people who ask questions about starting your own business, we have our next cohort starting May the 27th. So please send me an email. I'll give you more information. Also, if you want to do this for a living, you want to tell your story, you want to be a confident public speaker, we have the Confident Public Speaker Program starting June 3rd, 4th, and 6th, and it's all completely online. Send me an email. Would love to talk to you and give you more information. Thank you so much, Chai.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking your time, sharing your heart and your energy, and we appreciate you at the Latinista so much. For those of you who are, yes, and make sure that you drop in your email address. We've dropped in your website, and we're going to be sending everyone an email right after this that has all of the information that Angie shared about how to contact her and the different programs that she's going to be promoting soon, so that you can all take control of your passion and your purpose.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.